Hell, I'm the CommanderZander. I remember it so that a distinguished critic doesn't have to. And neither should you. For those who are too young to remember, Fox Kids was a wonderful channel block for all those kiddies over the weekend that they got to enjoy their favorite shows like Power Rangers, Avengers, not the Avengers like the movie, but like Avengers the animated series, Spider-Man Unlimited, Digimon, you name it. Fox Kids had it for you because you had another option for childhood shows. There was one other show in particular that doesn't really get as much hype and is a forgotten show to many. Unless, of course, you were old enough to remember it. That being Los Luchadores. Because we needed to have a masked wrestling version of the Power Rangers. Los Luchadores lasted for just a few episodes. One of my personal favorites watching Fox Kids. I'm dead serious. This was one of my favorite Fox Kids shows growing up, besides Digimon and the Power Rangers. And by golly, was it a phenomenal show. You had Lobo Fuerte, you had Turbine, and you had Maria Valentine. Not only wrestling, because that was actually better than the current WWE crap, but they were on the side, superheroes fighting crime to save the city. Union City, because we can't come up with any other generic names than that. So, how good is Los Luchadores in my book? Well, we're going to find out. This is Los Luchadores. Every episode started with them in Union City with some kind of wrestling match. Oh my god, are you fucking kidding me? Except for this episode, which apparently wanted to show the kids what a stripper's all about. And this got away on Fox Kids. They run away because guess what's coming up? It's the henchmen. Or in this case, the bony henchmen. Yes. These are bad guys, and there's your wrestling. This is Turbine. Get it? Because speed, flaming, and yeah, the wrestler that's getting his ass handed to him, although he's going to turn it around, I hope. The one in blue is Lobo Fuerte. Typical blue and red patriotic colors. And Lobo Fuerte because, you know, wolf. Now you can see why Turbine is called Turbine. Now, you'll probably figure out what Maria Valentine's mask looks like. There's hearts on there. Here comes Lobo for the kill! Of course, while that's going on, we have a... oh boy. A robbery that's unfolded. And who's behind it? Why, none other than Lobo Fuerte's archenemy. Batman has his Joker. Superman has his Lex Luthor. And Lobo Fuerte has...
Come on, while we're young. The city is going to the dogs. Here's a helping hand.
Well, first, here's the theme song. Catchy, isn't it? So, after we get this wonderful theme song, yes, you also see the villains on there. Which includes today's villain. Right there. Need I say more? A fucking dog. And oh, by the way, you're not gonna believe his name. It's Whelp. Now, if you catch the first episode, you see at the end, he kinda has the evil eyes, that doggy. And then he gets this metal face mask thingy and thus becomes a villain. So there you go.
Not ready yet. Gertrude? Yeah, I'm here.
Union City is preparing for something very, very important because... hey, look, it's the mayor in the living flesh. No, seriously, his face is planted on a picture that is supposed to be him and Lobo. To Lobo's amusement, by the way. Meanwhile, their faithful assistant is none other than the Jamaican man.
From that robbery, from the left hand of one Louis Andre Lafitte.
Louis LaHoo? The Mad Dog of Marseille.
A pirate. Arr!
Did
Oh,
we
boy.
wrestle him once?
Hey, go for the power driver! Go for the power driver! Ah!
Something right for once.
Meanwhile, back at the canine compound.
Isn't the baby Lamone? When I talk to you, look at me.
Yes, that would be well. I know it's not the most creative villain, but what are you gonna do? You gotta try and be outside the box. But this is a little bit too much, don't you think?
You ladies see what I have to work with? Let me show you how it's done.
So Welp tries to explain how things should be done in the canine world.
Sometimes I wonder why I even bothered. Found it.
He digs for a bone, because what else does a dog do besides dig for a bone? This, of course, creates attention and, oh, by the way, in typical Batman and Robin fashion, yeah, partner in crime gets the cycle, the main hero gets a cool hot ride. This, of course, is a diversion that they create
There's a return address from the sender.
That's easy. We'll go in there.
while they figure out the plot.
Let me handle this, Turbine. I have the feeling.
Why should he handle it alone? Oh yeah, because it's Lobo Fuerte. Lobo means solo, lone wolf. But little does he realize that teaming up will help solve this crime. Or defeat the bad guy. Or dog, in this case.
Lobo Day will be the last ever.
I can't believe I have to back.
You know, maybe this is how Pixar got the idea of that dog named Doug in the movie Up.
Lobo's sending you there because he trusts you.
Trust me to babysit his day.
Horror of horrors, terror of men.
Lobo goes solo. And what happens when going solo? He encounters the living pirate who comes to life. Again, not the best of villains, but yeah, what are you gonna do?
Stand up and show me what you got.
But by the way, you are not gonna believe how Lobo defeats him. You'll have to stick around for that. Because first we see him go back and forth in a pit of battles with the sunken pirate as he sends him back to his bone age. We then cut to Lobo Day. Again, because he's the main superhero, he gets all the credit. What about his faithful partner? Without him, this would not happen. Uh-oh. Trouble indeed. There comes Whelp. And just when you think all is doomed... Yeah, how corny can you get with that reaction? Yeah, because he's a chihuahua, so of course he's going to say that when he sees Lobo Fuerte defeat the pirate. As evidenced by the skull he brings back. And then he chucks it at the skull man. Because, yeah, again, that makes sense. Let's chuck a skull at the skull guy. Teamwork! The only thing missing out of this scene is the pow and the whack and all those action words, splat and whatnot, because this totally looks like something from the Adam West Batman era. They scare away the skull guys. And you think that they've won it. But that's where you're wrong. Because here comes Whelp in a big robot suit! Which, again, makes sense, because, come on. You really think that a Chihuahua alone is going to counter those two? Of course he needs this giant robot suit to counter them. They punch, they kick, they fight, they push him overboard!
Training robots.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you union.
And so once again, the day is saved thanks to Lobo Fuerte, the greatest wrestler of all time! Outside of the WWF stars like Hulk Hogan and Randy Macho Man Savage. He gives credit to Turbine because, again, teamwork. And then you figure out the story of how Lobo was able to defeat the pirate. Who apparently was French, as evidenced by that phrase. Yeah, all he had to do was look in the mirror within that plane to see how ugly he is, and then he turns back into skeleton form. Kind of anticlimactic, if I do say so myself.
I'm just the man standing next to the man trying to lend a hand. I'm cool with that.
Turbine is humble,
Hey, Turbine. You'll be the man.
and Lobo Fuerte is appreciative of his hard efforts. Of course, this would not end without this. Whelp escapes, of course.
You think it's over? Think again, Lobo Fuerte. I'll get you next time. Every dog has its
And
day.
how does he end this episode? Oh yeah. Nothing like letting your frustration out by whizzing the poster of your main rival of sorts. So that was Los Luchadores. Now I will admit this is not the greatest of all shows. And it's kind of cheesy and a little bit corny and it's kind of cliche because, I mean, you've seen this in every Saturday morning cartoon show basically. But I give the people who made this show credit. This is something outside of the box. And yeah, there's kind of elements that are familiar in the past, like the Power Rangers and the Batmans of the world. But it takes on a kind of unique twist in the fact that it's wrestlers trying to save the city. I give them credit. This is not a bad idea. It just isn't great compared to the likes of Batman and Power Rangers. And it's not going to be remembered among the echelons as the greatest superhero movies of all, or shows of all time. But I still enjoy it. And if you enjoy these cheesy, corny, superhero type action stuff, then I think you'll like Los Luchadores. Because quite frankly, this is a lot more realistic than the current WWE. Believe me. I'm the CommanderZander. I remember it's on the sound rig that I'm doing. Neither should you.